So end of day 2 for the siding guys. They started working their way around back today. Basically got this entire wall sided with the exception of that. They left that piece out just because we've got to cut in an electrical outlet over there. So they're gonna put that piece in after the fact. I had to order some more outlet boxes. They'll be in tomorrow. So we'll take care of those tomorrow. Yeah, so here she is. They did all the soffit and fascia here. And then we've got that. We're just gonna wrap that beam with some soffit boards on the front and then a 1x8 across the bottom. And then this entire side here, with the exception of the top, is done. Their ladders only could reach that far up. I guess they're gonna have to do the rest with pump jacks or something. They've got most of the soffits on there, some soffit pieces on there. So we'll walk around here. They're loading up. They're actually not gonna be here tomorrow. They've got to finish up a job in Athens tomorrow before it rains. So they're gonna go do that one and then come back here Saturday. So we got our 1x8s today. 1x8 Hardy, those shipped. I went ahead and started actually hanging the panels today. Got the disconnect and the generator transfer switch. And they did the board and batten up top. Looks great. Let's zoom into that. Look at that. Looks awesome. Looks really good. There's the board and batten across there. They'll finish that up next time they're here. Looks awesome. Good morning. I want to talk quickly about just some waterproofing, water resistant details that you need to make sure your siding crews are doing. Our siding crew is using, you can use, this is just like tar paper, but you can also use some metal pieces of flashing. Either one, you need to make sure you do that. But basically what this allows this to do is on these siding joints, when the caulk joint does fail, which it will fail, this allows the water to, if it penetrates that joint, it will just run down this joint and it'll come out the bottom here. So definitely want to make sure you have that there. You don't want to caulk your bottom joints of your siding because you want that to be exposed. So they put those on all the joints. So, and then they face nail the joints with just a little, it's like a 16 gauge brad nail, and they don't do it right here. They do it a little bit further up just to hold that in tight. Because this is smooth hardy. If you use too big of a nail here, these nail holes, these are not mushroomed, but I've seen nailing jobs where they actually mushroom out, and you can really see, like when the painters come through, they'll just dab a little bit of caulk in there, but you can really see it mushroom out if they use like a 15 gauge nail. That's like I think they're using a 16 gauge or either an 18 gauge. I think that's a 16 gauge brad nail, but you definitely don't want to use too big of a nail there because it will mushroom out and you'll be able to see that it'll telegraph through. So make sure they're doing that. This drip cap here is more of just like another way for water just to run out and over. It's not sealed on the backside, but we are taped and sealed on our flashing at the bottom. So if any water does get behind here, it's just going to run down this face of the zip and go down and come out that flashing at the bottom. And the same with over here, over the brick. I put a 1.25 inch aluminum drip cap over the brick and then zip taped that to the zip sheathing. So if any water does get down behind the siding, it'll just run down here and it'll come out the bottom, which we won't, my painter will not, he's not going to caulk this bottom joint here on the bottom. We'll leave it open to allow water to get out if it needs to get out. So another thing that we did is all the brick mold around the doors. Before we put the siding on, I actually did this. I ran a bead of Lexel sealant all the way around the perimeter. So all this brick mold is actually sealed to the sheathing. So if any water does penetrate this joint here, it can't get in behind the brick mold and get to the exposed end grain of the OSB and get down inside that door to rot it out. It'll just run down this face and it'll hit this drip edge at the bottom and run out. And right there at the corner where the brick mold meets that, I put a bead of Lexel sealant and sealed that up tight. So that should last for years and years and years and years to come. It's not exposed to UV rays because it's protected, and that should seal it up real good. So make sure that your siding guys are doing details like that so that you're thinking about water. And then also when the brick guys did the brick, they properly flashed this brick behind it with, it's like a vinyl flashing material. And at the very bottom course where the weep holes are, and then actually so many courses along the way, they actually put that in there where they basically tape this vinyl and they make this little water slide, and then they loop it out and tuck it into the mortar joint horizontally where the weep holes are, so that the water coming down the wall can hit that and then run out, and then it'll go out the weep holes. So make sure that you're doing those. Make sure your brick guys and your siding guys are doing these details so that you properly mitigate water in the future. Plus, always do gutters on your house. We'll have gutters here. We'll have a gutter that runs down over there. We'll have a downspout over there. And then we'll have another gutter that runs along here with a downspout over there as well. So make sure you're doing that. Don't skimp on those details. All right, guys, hope that helps. Talk to you later. All right, so end of day today is the 20th or 20th, 21st, something like that. Thursday, whatever day. I think it's Thursday. I don't know. I forget what day of the week it is. Yeah, today's Thursday because tomorrow's Friday. So the siding guys are getting closer and closer to wrapping up. So today they did all the porch posts here on the front porch, wrapped them in cypress. I got to do those 2 posts over there. I got to go get some more 1x10. We got to take some back because this was trashed. And so anyways, we've got the 1xs up here. They look awesome. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. So they got all the soffits done on the front. And then what we did is wrapped a 1x10 underneath the beam, and then we're basically just blocking out here with some blocking, and then we'll put fascia. We'll run some 1x6 fascia board across here to cover up the gap. So we'll do the same. We'll block it along the side and then run some 1x6 fascia on the inside. And then they're going to start on the tongue and groove ceiling on the front porch tomorrow. So exciting, exciting, exciting. So they also basically sort of split up into two teams. They had both kind of crews here, both vans. So they finished that yesterday. Finished all that part yesterday. They still need to do this little soffit and fascia and all this stuff right here, but that's like low to the groundwork, so they're kind of saving that. They were trying to get all the high stuff done today, which they did. They got all the high stuff done for the most part, except for they've got to side this tomorrow. They'll side the chimney tomorrow. And let's see here. They did that, so they got that all sided, that soffit done. They got all this soffit done. So tomorrow they're going to do this soffit here. What else are they doing? I think they're coming tomorrow. Or maybe he said they're coming Sunday. I don't remember. So they got some window job tomorrow, but I don't know if that's everybody or just him or what. But so they got all the siding done on the back here. For the most part, I say all, but they've got a few pieces to patch in where we did the recessed electrical boxes. I put those in. I've already locked up the house, otherwise they go inside, but it's not much different than yesterday. The finish crew came in, started mudding and taping on the inside. So we got these boxes in. Those are the Arlington end boxes. I ended up having to cut a hole out in the drywall in there to seal it from the backside, because this recesses into the wall. So I basically just, luckily they're still taping and mudding, so I just cut a hole out in the drywall right on 2 studs, pulled that out, put it in there and then spray foamed all around it, sealed it up tight, put the insulation, once the spray foam dried, put the insulation back up, and then put the drywall back up and sealed it up tight. So we're good to go there. This little trim ring is gonna go around the receptacle, like so. Actually, it goes like, which way does it go? I think it goes like that. Right, it goes like this. I don't know. I think it can go either way. It's square. So that goes around the switch, and then we'll just do a box extension in there. No big deal. So they've just got to do this piece of siding tomorrow. We also put this outlet in, same deal. I had to cut in the wall on the other side. Totally forgot to do that before the drywall guys came and hung the drywall. So I did that today. Luckily, you know, the tape crew can just mud and tape over that, and you'll never know that was the difference. We do have one more boo-boo. I mentioned it in another video. We forgot to rough in the plumbing for the freestanding tub, the drain. So we are going to have to cut into the ceiling in my workshop down in the basement for the plumber to be able to do that drain. But we'll do that later. I actually need to call him. So yeah, that's it. I don't know why they have it so far up, but either way, outside is nearing completion. We got all the windows open upstairs just to air the house out, let it dry out because we got mud drying in the house. So coming around the back here, they finished that yesterday. Did it all the way up. Got the frieze, got the siding, got the crown in, all that stuff. They did this. That's all done all the way across. And we just got to do these boxes right here. There's our colors. I think I shared that in another video, but there's our colors. Sherwin-Williams Repose Gray, and it looks very gray in this light. It's interesting. It looks a lot more like tan beigey in a different sunlight. But anyways, that's Repose Gray, Alabaster trim, and then we're going to do Sherwin-Williams Krypton on this door and basically all the little entry doors. And then I think we're just going to do the garage doors in Alabaster. I worked on this more today. Got all the disconnects done. The 2 disconnects are done. I got my meter box hung. I'm going to have to take it back down, but it's in place so that I can figure out how to, like, where to do my conduit, because basically the main power comes into the meter, into the top, and then you have a feed that runs out to this panel, and then you have a feed that runs out to that panel. So I just need to get all that situated. So I put the meter box up, got it set so I could measure out and figure out my conduit, and then I'll basically glue in the conduit we'll do that later. So anyways, so that's that. Front of the house there. Got our soffit and fascia. Oh, I don't like how they bumped that down. I guess they really had no choice. It didn't plane out, so they had to bump it down. Well, that's kind of a bummer. I guess it is what it is. So right there is what I'm talking about. And then we'll have a camera right there. That's that blue wire. It's looking good, looking good. All right, well, that's it for tonight. It's like 7:30. I'm going home. I'm tired. Adios. Friday the 29th of April. If you look around, it's a different color. The painter has finished his first coat today, and he's probably about a quarter of the way done with his second coat. Had to go back and get him some more paint tonight. He originally we had discussed this before, he was gonna do 2 coats, and then he was like, yeah, I'm almost out of paint, and da-da-da-da, and I said, oh wait, so you're done with the second coat? And he said, no, I did 1 heavy coat. It's like I sprayed 3 times, and it's like, okay, well, we need to do 2 coats. So he only bought enough paint to basically do 1 really heavy coat, which, I mean, it looks okay, but from a longevity standpoint, I'd rather have 2 coats on the siding. So I went and bought some more paint at Sherwin-Williams this evening at like 5 o'clock. He's already started spraying. He basically used up the last of it. He hasn't cracked into the new cans yet, but he used up the rest of that today, and then he left for the evening. He just left a few minutes ago. So he's got the first coat on. Tomorrow's going to second. So there's it's Sherwin-Williams Repose Gray, and then all the trim will be Alabaster White. You can see there. Here's the porch ceilings are all done. I think I posted that in another video. We sprayed those with Sherwin-Williams Deckscapes clear sealer. So we sealed all that wood. I'll probably have to seal it every couple years or so, but we did spray that with a clear sealer on the front porch, side porch, back porch, all of the above. And then I've been building these railings here. Tomorrow I'm going to do the 6x6 posts. I'll replace these 4x4s with 6x6s. And I'm actually going to set some quick set concrete bases and actually bolt I'm not going to put the posts into the concrete, but I'm going to use a Simpson bracket and actually bolt it to the concrete that's bolted to the post that's bolted to the stringer, which should give you a really sturdy railing. So that's what I'll do tomorrow. And then I'm just going to relocate these 4x4s just to this point right here out to the corner, just to create this one little step down, and then we'll do the railing there. So we'll have a 6x6 post at the bottom, just a little 4x4 there to fill in the gap. And then I've got to do some 2x6s and some 2x4s across the top here to do the for the top of the door, for the header of the screen door. I'm going to make like a custom double screen door there. I'll probably make it out of cedar, since cedar is like very lightweight. So we'll make it out of cedar and make an 8-foot screen door there. So, and my painter's working, so I ended up doing the punch out. We had to do these boards at the bottom. I just ripped some 5/4 deck boards down and fit them nice and tight so that it supports that threshold at the end, and then we'll just prime and paint that. Luckily, these are all covered on a covered that's pressure treated 5/4 deck boards, but I ripped them down nice and square. These are covered, so I'm not really concerned with water ever getting to them. Yeah, buddy. I'm over here. Then we filled in this little gap right here that was underneath over there, because this deck sort of gradually is out of level by like 3/4 of an inch from one end. So in 36 feet, it's out 3/4 of an inch.
So, Daddy?
Yeah. Look at this kid. You're all dirty. And where are your shoes? He always loses his shirt and always loses his shoes.
They're over there by the truck.
Okay, got it. So what we have left to do out here is, as you can see here, I'm going to kind of do that across there with a 2x4. That basically is just going to create a ledger to attach the screens to. So when we screen in the porch, the screens will actually attach to the face, the outside face of the porch. And then those will just be the attachment points. So got to do that tomorrow. I'm going to work on that tomorrow. Today, like I mentioned, I did all these little threshold pieces, and then they had also forgotten to do a freeze board downstairs in the basement area. Turns out we're out of crown molding, and I don't know that big piece of crown is going to look right on that little soffit overhang, so I'm actually going to go get a little piece of bed molding tomorrow. Yes, sir. Yeah, we're going to go home in just a minute. Whoa. So I'm going to put a little piece of bed molding there, and that should fit in there tight, look nice, clean it all up. So tomorrow the painter's going to be, it's Saturday, so he said he'll be here about 10. He won't be here as early as normal. He has something to do in the morning. And then he'll be here at 10, and he'll work all day tomorrow, and he's going to get the second coat done, and then he's going to start on the trim. I think he'll be done with the second coat within a couple hours, because the second coat's going a lot faster than the first coat, because he doesn't have to be as meticulous and as heavy as the first coat. So he'll be back tomorrow to do finish up the second coat, and then he's going to start on trim. Yeah.
Daddy, now it's white.
It's gray.
No, it's white.
White? Okay.
Yeah.
So it does look good though. So that's it for today. Time to go home. It's 7:30 and it's time for a shower, and I'm tired and it's almost his bedtime. And Mommy and Mason should be home soon from the dance.
They're home already.
No, they're not. I haven't seen them come home on the camera. So that's it. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you later. Bye. Guys, did my last video on this CKE cable rail system this past summer, and now I'm actually doing it on our new house that we're building. So I'm putting it on our back deck, and I'm working on the stairs right now. And you can see the you have the two different threaded swage connectors or whatever they're called that you crimp onto the cable. So I've got left and right. And what we're gonna do here is on this railing, we're gonna put one set in here. We're gonna run the cable through this post and then tie it in down there with another swage connector on that end. And you gotta drill these at an angle. So my tip on this is cut a little guide block, which I've done here, for you to get your angle right. And then you can use this to drill out your angle. So basically I just take this block, let's cut it, these stairs are 31 degrees is the angle of this staircase. So I basically just take this block, you can see I misdrilled these holes. I actually changed my mind. I was gonna center them up here, but I only did a 4x4 post right here. And I thought it would just look weird with the holes drilled out here. So I'll just fill those in with some putty and paint them. And you really won't be able to tell that I did that. But I accidentally misdrilled this hole, but that's okay. I'll fill it with putty and paint it. You'll never know. So you basically just take this block. I just cut this little block of wood on my miter saw, and it's at 31 degrees. And I basically just stick it here and I line up the drill bit, centered in this board. And then I just use it as a guide, get it started, and then move it out of the way, and then push the drill bit all the way down to drill my pilot hole. And that gets my hole drilled perfectly at that 31 degree angle. And again, like I mentioned, we'll run a through we'll run the little grommets here, and the cable will go through here. It'll go down there and tie into there. And then we're actually going to put a skirt board along the side of the steps here. I've got to go get some 1x8s at the store, and we'll run just some skirt boards here and paint them the same color as the deck. And then the rest of this, we'll center it here in this opening. So the way we did, sorry, the tile guy's cutting tile right now. The way we did our openings here, we're going to be screening this porch in. So the screens are actually going to attach to the outside. That's why I put these little ledger pieces on here for the screen system to attach to. And then we put these guardrails here just for your like a drink ledge all the way around the perimeter. So it's just a 2x6 on top, and then a 2x4 on the bottom, and just at an angle like this. Another thing we're going to do is, these are just pressure treated 6x6s that we primed and painted the trim color. I'm going to come back with some caulk and actually fill this in. And then we made some little baseboards here out of some the same material that we did our ceiling with, which is a tongue and groove cypress. I actually just ripped some pieces down that I had and cut a little bevel on them, and then made some little baseboard pieces to cover up, because we've got, let him finish here. We've got Simpson brackets, as you can see, around the bottom here on some of these posts. I might actually come back and cover these up, like put a piece over this to cover this. And then once we put our screens up, I might actually put another trim board down here, like a 1x6, just to cover this area here. I haven't really decided yet. I'll see what it looks like once the screens are up, and then make my decision from there. And then we might just cover these all up with some 1x6s all the way across, just to cover up the screen joints. But that's how we're doing the cable rail here. So I'm starting at the stairs. This is kind of the hardest, most tedious part. And then we'll work our way around. And basically, on this long run, we're just going to have tension there at the ends. So we'll have one set of swage screws here and one set of swage screws on the end. And all the rest of them will just drill straight through these 6x6s all the way across and run our cables across. So that's how we're doing that. And then we'll have screens on the outside. So we're doing this on, because it's on a deck, I'm doing it on a 3-inch, 3 inches on center. So that would give me, with this piece and that piece there, and I measured it out, that basically gives me 9 cables across here. So that leaves me a gap. You basically don't want bigger than a 4-inch gap, but those cables can flex a little bit. So across here, we're doing them on 3-inch centers. That way, if you try to stick that sphere through and the cable does move a little bit, you have a little bit of leeway there to still be within that 4-inch range. Plus our kids are grown now, and we're gonna have screens on here, so I don't really have any concerns of a child or anybody going through this, because you're gonna have a screen and you're gonna have the cable. So that's what we're doing here. And you're probably wondering about this. We're gonna actually backfill this in. We're gonna put some boulders here. We're doing a boulder retaining wall there. Put some boulders around here, and then this will be a planting bed right around here with some plants. So we'll just put a bunch of plants in right here, and I'm going to make like a sort of a lattice system here with some of the leftover I've got some leftover cypress, so we're going to make a lattice here to go underneath the deck to cover up this gap, and it'll just basically go from brick post to brick post. The brick guys are coming back to brick this column here. They have to come back after we pour our driveway to do the steps, that we have some steps out on our driveway off of a little porch. So they got to come back to do that. So they're going to do this column when they come back too. We've got enough, we should have enough brick. We've got like 2 cubes of brick down there for them. So that's how we're doing this. And this will be like a gravel patio area here for a fire pit. So we're working on this, and so this grade will change just a little bit. Basically, the gravel will go almost up to the top of this step here. So this will just be like the last little step, and then it'll be gravel all the way across, same grade all the way across. So that's how we're doing this. All right, guys, talk to you later. Bye. So pro tip on getting these are the CKE lag swage screws. Pro tip on getting these started and threaded into your holes. Take your drill and chuck this up into the drill like this. And these are the left-hand ones, so I'm in reverse here. And you're just gonna, there you go. And that's it, all there is to it.